What's up, everybody? I'm Jim with Straight Blast Pythons. Welcome to the channel. So it's been a couple weeks since I've posted a video, and to be completely honest, I'm doing a terrible job at meeting my 3 videos a month goal that I set for myself earlier this year. I've come to the point where I'm just accepting that I suck when it comes to social media consistency. It always seems like I'm putting it on the back burner. So the last couple weeks I've been spending what little bit of free time I have had towards getting some progress done on the renovations in our basement for the new snake room. Finally got a good bit of electrical put in, most of the insulation's in. All I've really got to do still is actually run the cables from the new dedicated box to the electrical feed from the house, and then we can start closing up the walls and going from there. So hopefully in the next 2, maybe 3 months at the rate I'm going, we'll actually have walls in, floor down, lights in, and be able to start actually moving into there. I've kind of been procrastinating because I know closing up the walls means drywall, tape, and mud, and to be completely honest, I hate it. That is one of my least favorite things on this planet to do, is tape and mud drywall, and I'm also not going to pay somebody to do it, so, procrastination at its finest. But anyway, that really has nothing to do with what I want to talk about in the video today. We're partway through the season. We got clutches on the ground. I got a couple of them here in the incubator, and I just kind of want to give an update, what we got going on, what pairings we're expecting to have go, because things have actually changed since I made my original videos a couple months ago with what I was planning on. Some of the pairings have changed. A couple girls are up to size that I wasn't expecting them to be. So things are going a little different than I originally had planned, and I want to be transparent with you guys, what's going on here, what you can expect coming up from us, and really just to share our progress. So we're going to get into that here in just a second. Before we get into the update though, I've been thinking, I got a couple of ideas, and I'm looking for some feedback. So I've said, many times in the past on this channel, my goal is really to build a community, become part of the bigger reptile community. It's not about, monetization or trying to sell anything. Although, yes, I am going to use the channel to showcase what we're making snake-wise. It's really trying to get out there and socialize with other people in the hobby. And one of the things I did recently was started these Morph mindset videos, and the idea behind those was, just to share my opinions on some of these genes, but really to start some discourse, actually start some conversations, maybe get some back and forth going. Like I said, engage the community. And so far, that's actually gone fairly well. The videos have been some of the best I've made on the channel. They've had the best engagement. For the most part, the most views, lots of comments. In the case of the one I did in the Bell video, Steve and Courtney from Leviathan, they made a Bell video shortly after stating that it was somewhat inspired by the video that I put out, and it is going the way I intended it to, but it's still not quite what I have in mind. So I've been thinking about it, and I want to throw this idea out there, get some feedback, see what people think. My goal with that particular series of videos that I'm looking to do, and I do plan to continue making more regardless of whether I go this route or just keep making videos as I had, is to have a conversation. So my thought process is maybe some people would be interested in having a conversation with me. So I want to throw out the idea to see if I can get some feedback, maybe some takers on this, to any of the other breeders out there that might be watching this. Would you guys maybe want to sit down and actually have a conversation about a gene? I'm not talking about doing lives or anything like that. As much as I enjoy watching the lives, frankly, we have way too many of them in the reptile hobby. You're just stepping on each other, no matter what time of day you look, there's somebody on a live. I'm looking for maybe seeing if somebody would want to join me on a Zoom call. If it's another local breeder, maybe we can sit down together, or if we're at a show together, sit down and discuss a gene. And you know what? You pick the gene. Something that you particularly feel is underworked, something that's overlooked, something you're just really excited about that the industry has either passed over or is ignoring. And let's have a conversation about it. So I don't know if me saying this is an idea is really correct, or a suggestion that I'm putting out here, a request. If you would like to have a conversation about a specific gene, something that we can collaborate on and put out there, get yourself exposure, start this discourse or this conversation, something along those lines, reach out to me either, here on YouTube, on Instagram at Straight Blast Pythons. You can email me at Gmail on straightblastpythons@gmail.com. Fair warning, I basically never check that, but I do have it. Instagram's best bet, or on here. Let's set something up. If I don't get any interest on that, cool, whatever, I'm going to keep making the videos solo. But I wanted to put that out there because I thought it was a good idea, and I figure somebody else might actually enjoy doing something similar. Let's talk. All right, so let's actually get into the season update. And I've said in past videos, 2023 sucked for us, and I'm not going to rehash all that, but 2024 is looking good. 2024 is probably going to be I shouldn't say probably, it is going to be our biggest season to date. Our first season, 2022, we had 4 clutches. We had 4 clutches again in 2023. I've got 3 in the incubator already. 1 girl that was due to drop eggs yesterday, so we're expecting literally any minute for another clutch to be on the ground here. I've got 3 more that have already ovulated, a couple more that are bull wrapping, starting to show really good signs. Sadly, I did have 1 girl reabsorb, but I've got 4 girls that I wasn't even expecting to be to size for this season, up to size, and based on palpating, because I don't have an ultrasound, already seem to be building follicles. So we're probably going to be upwards of, 10. I'm realistically saying about 10 clutches. We're going to have about 16, 17 pairings total, shooting for the 10, 11 clutches. Hopefully we'll see how that goes, but either way, this is going to be our biggest year. So what we got in the incubator so far, first clutch we had laid was our girl Mystery, and I've shown this girl off on the channel before, and I'm going to have her in some b-roll going on while I'm talking here, because we picked her up as part of a collection back in early 2023, and we picked her up as a trick that was het for clown. Well, didn't really 100% agree with the idea on trick. Like, a few people that I asked who are more familiar with Trick Blitz Hurricane said that they could see it as a low expression. I sent the shed test out to Charlie over at Gray Rider. Literally just got the results back about 20 minutes or so ago, and she is not Trick Blitz Hurricane, whatever you want to call it. So we named her Mystery because we didn't know what she was, and that is now accurate. I am hoping the het clown proved out. She's going to tell us for sure yay or nay on that clown with this pairing, so I'm hoping to maybe ID her a little bit or figure out what she is before her clutch hatches. If not, we'll see. I've had suggestions on her maybe being HRA or something along those lines, but anyway, she was paired initially. She had 1 pairing to our boy Jester, who's a lesser clown. That was kind of a early season pairing, and then I wound up changing up my thought process on what I wanted to do with her in case she did wind up as trick. I paired her to our Banana Black Pastel Hypo Clown Kefka, so she was paired either way. She's going to have clown in the pairing. If she was het clown, we are going to prove that out, and there's a good chance, because most of her locks have been with our Hypo Clown boy, that she'll be at the very least double het Hypo Clown for everything that comes out of her. Banana, Black Pastel, and whatever it is, she is in the mix. And if I do get lucky and it is HRA, like a few people suggested, maybe we can get some allelic combos there. What do you guys think? If you see something, tell me. What do you think she is? HRA is the most common thing that I'm hearing right now. I don't know. I'm not familiar with the gene enough to say. All I know is we got a clutch that's due to hatch from her. I want to say May 18th is the hatch date, and we'll figure things out then. So our second clutch is our Black Pastel Yellow Belly Vanilla Girl, who does not have a name at this point in time. She is het clown as well. I forgot to mention that. And she was paired to Kal-Al, who's our Pinstripe Krypton. Obviously, we're shooting for some Kryptons out of this clutch. I would ideally like to get something with the vanilla and the yellow belly in it. And if we can get a male, that would be awesome, because I'd like to replace Kal-Al as a breeder with another Krypton male, because I don't have a lot of cryptic or Krypton stuff in the collection yet, and that is something that I would like to, over the next couple of years, expand upon. So ideally, a male would benefit that as far as moving that process along. But I'm not going to complain about any sort of Kryptons or clowns that we do get, because, again, with last year being as bad as it was, I'm kind of playing catch-up on holdbacks, so I'm not going to complain about a couple girls as well being able to keep, whether they be clown or Krypton. Our third clutch is one that visually isn't going to be too interesting to anybody, and it's really one that's kind of a building for the future clutch. It was our girl Marge, who is just a butter het for clown, and we paired her to Gestal, who's our hypogenetic stripe. We're going to do some shed testing on this one. Obviously, I'm looking to hold back a couple girls that are triple hets, ideally with the butter gene in it. I've got a couple clutches like this, and I'm trying to hold back 1 and 2 gene triple het hypo G-stripe clowns for that project, and this is just really kind of there, like I said, working that triple het project. Nothing fancy, but I'm kind of the belief that if I can make it, I'd rather make it than buy it. So that's just kind of where I'm going with that clutch. Nothing fancy, probably isn't going to, draw a lot of attention when that clutch does wind up pipping and cutting, but it has potential to make some strong females for the future. The girl that's supposed to be laying here soon is a pastel het clown. She was paired to Jester, our lesser clown male. Again, whole point of that pairing is just trying to make some more clowns to hold back. I'm really trying to boost up that visual army of clowns. So, while I don't particularly want a whole lot more pastel in my clown, it's a way to go to get some. And to be completely honest, I do like lesser clowns. So if I can get another lesser clown or two to hold back, especially on the female side, that would be awesome. Again, that clutch is all about boosting numbers. I'm not going to turn around and spend money buying more visual clowns when I can just make some. Beyond that, girls that have ovulated already and are pending prelay sheds here in the near future, we got Valkyrie, who's our lesser Enchi fire girl, as well as Caligo, who's our mahogany het albino. Both of them were paired to Kefka, the banana black pastel hypo clown. So again, we're looking at dual het hypo clown stuff with, mahogany, Enchi, fire, Mojave, and then the banana black pastel, all that type of stuff in the mix. And the stuff coming from Caligo also has the potential of being het albino. I know a lot of people aren't working the albino project. I have some thought process with it in the long run, so I am going to shed test that clutch, and I will hold back stuff that does have that triple head in it specifically. I've discussed it before. I'm kind of curious to see what hypo can do in some of the darker albino clown combinations, so I'm going to work that way in the long run just to kind of do something a little different. But it's a project. Most people are probably going to hate it, but I'm doing it just out of sheer curiosity, and why not? Nobody else is doing it, right? All right, other girls that are showing good signs of building. Ginger, our orange dream het G-stripe, also paired to our hypo clown boy Kefka. Again, gonna shed test for triple hets there. Freya, our Mojave het clown, again paired to Kefka, looking for black pastel Mojave clowns het hypo out of that one. Talia, our blade double het VPI xanthic clown, she's getting huge, so she should be ovulating any time now. Again, paired with Kefka, looking for triple hets out of that one as well. No, not triple hets. Looking for visual clown, double het hypo VPI xanthic out of that one. Start working a True Ghost Clown project. And finally, Geisha, our super pastel het clown. She was paired with Gestal, our hypogenetic stripe again, once again for the same purpose of trying to get the triple hets for that project rolling. Again, not going to be a very interesting clutch to most people. It's literally going to be visually a whole clutch of pastels. Some of them double het for the hypo G-stripe, some of them triple het for the hypo G-stripe clown. Again, building for the future, and we'll see what people think about that clutch. It might just wind up, wholesaling pastels, but we'll see how that goes. So sadly, our girl Charlotte, who's our Spider G-stripe, does look like she reabsorbed. Again, she was paired with Kefka. She was getting huge. She was going into what I thought was going to be her pre-ovulation shed, and then she just shrunk back down. So that one sucks. That would have been guaranteed triple hets out of that, and I was kind of banking on that one just to kind of bolster numbers, to be sure I get enough girls to be able to hold back for that project. But yeah, is what it is. Might wind up having to repair that one again next year if I don't just actually violate what I just said and wind up buying something, over this next season. And beyond that, our girl Agnia, who is our lesser Enchi fire het clown, she is officially at breeding size. I wasn't expecting her to grow as quick as she did. She put on a lot of weight really quickly in the last couple months. I don't know who I'm going to pair her with yet. Same with our Mojave lesser het clown, possible Enchi fire. Indy, she's also up to size. And Gristly, our pastel clown, all of which are holdbacks from our 2022 year, are all well into breeding size. I do plan to do something with them. I'm not really sure what yet. I'm thinking in terms of Grizzly, our pastel clown, possibly pairing her to Matt, who is our blackhead phantom. I think possibly something else in him as well, with the intention of making het clowns that do have the blackhead in it, just to get that into the project, because right now I don't have blackhead in clowns, and I really do like blackhead clowns. So just a thought there. Outside of that, not sure what I'm going to do with the other girls. I do have, kind of sitting aside still right now, a very large visual albino girl who I might, depending on how Kefka's looking here in the near future, pair with to try to guarantee some triple hets on that hypo albino clown project. We've got our girl Toffee, who has been paired with Jester, our lesser clown. She's a Enchi pinstripe, as well as Kefka, again, the banana black pastel hypo clown. Again, looking for multi-gene hets to hold back, probably for that hypo clown project ideally, but we'll see who gets that clutch if she winds up going. Oh, and I also forgot to mention our Ivory girl, which we purchased as a Cypress Enchi pinstripe ivory, is definitely up to size. I am pairing her with our pastel calico yellow belly boy with the intention of trying to make more ivories with a couple of codoms in them, as well as seeing what she actually has in her. I do kind of, as a side project, want to start working some freeway stuff, just honestly because I like it. I don't have any intention of going like deep dive into it, but I would like to have a couple of ivories sitting here that I can play with just to make a handful of freeways every year, because to be completely honest, it's one of my favorite non-recessive projects. And even though I keep saying I'm going to get super focused and not make anything that has nothing to do with my actual clown stuff, every time I start looking at freeways, I want them. So that's going to be my way of not spending a bunch of money on freeways. It's just to make a couple every year. So that's the plan with that pairing. Most of my original plans that I posted back in November, December last year for my pairings changed after talking to a number of other breeders before I ever even started pairing for this season. So stuff's kind of all over the place. The fact that, Kefka put on a lot of weight right before the season, and he is a powerhouse breeder. He is nonstop. I can pair him, feed him, and he's just ready to go again right afterwards. He's putting on weight through the breeding season, so I'm using him quite a bit more than I was originally planning on. So a lot of hypo clown stuff coming down the train here. I'm hoping this can be a good season. Lots of holdbacks I'm shooting for, and most of what I'm not making, seeing as hypo clown is starting to gain some popularity, I shouldn't have too much of a problem moving, because a lot of the genetics in there should be making easy 3-4 gene double hets and possibly triple hets. So like I said, 2024 is looking like it's going to be an awesome year for us. We're making 17, 18 pairings roughly now that I'm kind of recounting in my head. I'm optimistic for hitting about 10. If we get more than that, man, that'll be awesome. But based on just, what we've already got on the ground, we got 3 clutches here, 1 more about to drop, 2 more beyond that have ovulated pending prelay sheds, and 4 or 5 more that are definitely looking like they're going to go. A couple pairings I haven't even made yet, but are starting to show signs of, building follicles. So this is going to be our biggest season. I'm looking to try to have a whole lot of holdbacks this year. Like, I'm not joking when I'm saying 20, 30 holdbacks that I'm wanting to keep. Shed test pending, of course, because a lot of those are depending on how many triple hets I can keep back for various projects. I'm trying to hold back for True Ghost Clown. I'm trying to hold back for, like I said, the Hypo Albino Clown stuff, the Hypo G-Stripe Clown. I didn't even mention it, but I got a pairing shooting to try to go for Hypo Sunset Clown. And I do have a het puzzle girl that I'm contemplating pairing for Hypo Puzzle Clown holdbacks. That, again, she's het, so that would involve shed testing. I don't know if I'm going to bother with that one. Just kind of, again, back and forth. She's just a normal het puzzle, so I don't know if it's really worth it in my mind. I don't know. What do you think? Should I do that pairing? Let me know. Maybe I will. But that's really it. So my big thing right now, we got a bunch of hatchlings coming. I need to buy another hatchling rack, so that's coming up soon. And I need to clear what I do have in my rack. So I'm going to be posting a couple of groups on auctions, trying to move some stuff. I got one up right now, which is a Banana Cinnamon Het Genetic Stripe and a couple of Het Genetic Stripe normal girls, just trying to clear some space. Starting next month, I'm going to post another one with a couple. I'm just trying to empty out whatever I've got left in my racks. At this point, I'm not even trying to make money off of it. I'm just trying to clear racks to make space for stuff coming up, because I don't have room for the hatchlings that I'm going to have at the level that we're going to have them this year. So build up some infrastructure here in the next couple of weeks/months, clear out the racks that I have, go from there. I did post a couple of proven breeders as well on there, all males. Lesser Clown that we were talking about earlier here, Jester, the Pinstripe Krypton we talked about in this video, as well as our Banana Cinnamon Genetic Stripe and our Pastel Yellow Belly Genetic Stripe Pos Het VPI Xanthic. Those are all up on Morph Market. Again, just trying to move some space out, consolidate some of my racks as I'm getting ready to move them into the new reptile room that'll be done here, hopefully within the next month or two. That's it. I'm going to end this. I'm not going to take up any more of your time. Thank you for watching. If you guys are interested about maybe collabing on some genetics videos like I talked at the beginning of the video, seriously, reach out to me. If not, any thoughts on the pairings we got going on this year, let me know in the comments. I'll see you next time.